Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom. We're going to be talking about the first 5 minutes when you sit down to work. It could even be the first 5 minutes of your morning. How important it is that you set your mindset in the right direction. Everything that follows is the rest of the day, and we want to make sure that the rest of the day goes well. And if your days aren't going well, maybe it all has to do with how you decide to start your day. If this interests you and you want to be more productive and not angry all the time and upset all the time and disappointed all the time, check out the rest of this video. I hope it's going to be helpful for you. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about the 5-minute reset, or setting your mindset at the beginning of your day. Now, this could happen right when you wake up, or it might be after you get your coffee and go to the bathroom. It could be when you're driving to work, or when you arrive at your office before you actually start processing things and shuffling papers and making decisions. You need about 5 minutes. That doesn't take an hour. It would be great if you had an hour. You could sit out under a tree and meditate and pray, but most of us don't have that luxury. So let's just talk about the first 5 minutes of the day, how it can set your mindset, because you have a stack of things to do. You have a to-do list, whether you recognize it or not, whether you've prioritized it or not, whether you've written the stuff down, it's there. And you want to be able to be prepared to face that to-do list. And you want to do it with the best energy possible, not just out of anger or fear that I'm going to fail if I don't get this done. That's not your best work. So you got to take some time to sort of set your mind and get your mind going in the right direction. Every day you have a choice. Every day you get to choose how you're going to show up. Now, there's a story going on around you, but what's more important is the story that you're telling yourself. The story of how life is treating you, how God is treating you. And before you start scrolling your phone and checking out the headlines or looking at all your friends' updates on Instagram, before you start stressing about yesterday or all the crap you got to put up with and how life's not fair for you, before you start down that mental highway, take a minute and just pause for a second and reflect and set your intentions in the right direction. Your mindset takes control of the rest of the day. How you show up changes everything. It changes your mood, it changes your attitude, it changes your direction. So 5 minutes in the morning can completely change the direction of your whole day. It's like before you go on a trip, you have to decide, well, where are we going? Where are we headed? What's the goal here? What stops are we going to make along the way? It doesn't take hours to plan in the morning. It just takes a few moments to become intentional. So, enough of these good days could change your life. Seriously. Wouldn't it be nice to have a few good days in a row? Now, you can't always control all the circumstances of your life, but you can control how you interpret, what you focus on, what you're going to pay attention to, and what your attitude's going to be, no matter what's going on in your life. So your morning mindset sets the tone for the day. If you start out like, look at all this crap I got to do today. Life's not fair for me. I don't understand why I'm the one that gets stuck. If you start out that way, it's pretty predictable how this day is going to go. You're probably going to be upset and irritated all day long and be short with all the people that you love and really just kind of be a curmudgeon all day. But if you wake up with a different mindset, like, okay, I got a lot to do today, but there's so much to be grateful for. What do I need to be thankful for? Starting with gratitude, for example, just shifts your whole mindset away from the negative, away from the things that frustrate you. You're intentionally trying to focus on what is good, right, what is wonderful in your life. And there's so many things that are going right. And if you don't pay attention to them, it just falls away to the background. You want to bring those things up into the front of your mind. You don't want to start the day anxious. You don't want to start the day angry. You don't want to start the day reactive. You don't want to start the day unintentional. We want to be intentional about the way we start our day. So the first few minutes after you wake up are so powerful. Those first few minutes you sit down at your desk before you actually start processing and working on things. What is the story you're going to tell yourself today? That's a good question for us to think about. So decide, is today going to be a day that I react to everything, or is today going to be a day that I set my intention and become very intentional about my day? So gratitude is a great way to start. Also think about purpose. Like, what am I trying to accomplish today? What's most important to me? Maybe think about your life in total, not just work, but also your spiritual life. Think about your hobbies and interests. Maybe think about your community and friendships, your physical health. What am I going to eat today? What kind of decisions am I going to make? Am I going to exercise today? Am I going to get outside today and breathe some oxygen? Maybe take a moment for some prayer and reflection, whether that is intentional prayer or whether that is meditation, but just time to stop and be mindful and present, and maybe to ask God to help you have the strength for today. And then check your beliefs about yourself. You want to say things like this, like, I've got everything I need today. Today's going to be a great day. I'm deciding it's going to be a great day. I can handle whatever comes at me today. I've got support. I've got friends. I've got security. These small mindset shifts, they may not seem that significant, but they can make big life shifts. Just like a giant ship is controlled by a small rudder, and your car is controlled by a steering wheel. When you think about the size of a steering wheel compared to the size of a car, it's not that significant. But everything that happens in that car is going to be controlled by that steering wheel. And your mind is like a steering wheel, it's like a rudder. And you get to make some decisions about what you're going to focus on and what your intention is going to be today. Are you fully showing up to life? Do you own your life? Do you live as though life just happens to you, or are you in charge of some of the decisions of your life? We often overestimate how much change needs to happen in our life, and we underestimate how much we could actually change today, or how much we could actually get done today. We underestimate that. If you started running downhill at this and were motivated and had a sense of purpose and responsibility and decided, all right, we're going to get this whole thing done today. Enough talk, enough, contemplating. And you just start running. If you have something that is going to take a long time, let's say you have something that's going to take 2 weeks, decide it's going to take a week. If you have something that's going to take 4 hours, decide it's going to take an hour. It's amazing how that simple little mindset shift often, you know, focuses your attention, focuses your energy, and it's amazing how much you can get done with that kind of shift in your mindset. So these tiny shifts repeated daily begin to take an effect on you and begin to change your mindset. Enough of what you can't do, enough of what's not working, enough of how you're helpless. This isn't going to actually move you forward to anything that you want in your life. Yeah, you can blame everybody else and feel justified and validated, but your life isn't getting any better. And let's face it, like, this is the only life that you get right here, right now. And so we want to make the most of it. And maybe it's because I'm a type 7. I tend to think, like, why wouldn't you want to live the most fulfilled, purposeful life possible? But you get to make some choices and you get to make some decisions. So don't underestimate the power of small beginnings and small shifts. These small daily resets can have a massive effect and create massive breakthroughs in your life. Okay, so the question is, what seeds are you planting today? The law of sowing and reaping. Whatever a man sows is what he also reaps. So if you sow disgust, frustration, anger, fear, if you sow those things, what do you think you're going to reap? But if you sow positivity and joy and peace and love and excitement and harmony, if you sow the seeds of duty and responsibility and, vigilance, When you sow those seeds, you can expect a completely different outcome. Now, just like the farmer can't control everything, he can't control the weather. They can't control whether the locusts are going to attack. You can't control everything. But, you shouldn't plant pumpkins and expect to get oranges. It just doesn't make any sense. I guess maybe they're both orange, but other than that. So take 5 minutes away from the world today. Take 5 minutes to breathe. Take 5 minutes to think, to just rest for a moment. Think about what you really want, what's most important. Let the faces of those people that you love come to your mind. It's okay if you shed a tear. It might be good for you to just remember how much you love the people in your life, to experience their love once again, to connect to God, to think about what you're going to be doing today, what your stack of books and letters and papers and all that is, your emails. I know you got a lot on your plate. And it can be easy to feel overwhelmed and to feel frustrated and feel like, you're trying to swim, in a crocodile infested Everglades swamp. It can feel like that. I get it. But you're doing great. The fact that you're watching this video is a clear indication that you're trying to make some changes in your life. And I'm super proud of you for doing that. A lot of people won't take the time to do this kind of work. And it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. But, it's amazing when you get your back into a corner how much you can actually accomplish. It's amazing. Don't forget what you've been through. Don't forget how you've overcome obstacles already in the past. You got to believe in yourself. I know it sounds corny, but you got to believe in yourself. So 5 minutes to ground yourself, to focus your heart, to set your direction. So let me just ask you this. What's one thing that you could add to your morning tomorrow to help you get started? If you took 5 minutes and just have some gratitude, think about your purpose, think about your intentions, think about who it is that's showing up for the to-do list, not just the to-do list that could easily overwhelm all of us. How are you showing up? What character are you going to be in the movie? Are you the hero? Are you the hero of the movie? The scruffy-faced hero that's going to do things your own way? The scruffy-faced hero that's going to take the next step and risk everything? Or are you the damsel in distress? Help me, Tom. I'm a damsel in distress. I need somebody to rescue me. Life's not fair. Life isn't fair. None of us want to be that character. So you got to make a decision. What character are you going to be in your story? All right, guys, I'm here for you. We're doing this together. Be present to life. I'll see you next time.